All right. We are getting up and going here, guys. Give us a moment. And hopefully I see people in the chat there. Hopefully you got audio on us. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in some video. So let's cut there. All right, guys. If you're in the chat and you can hear us and see us okay, yep, give us a shout out. We got audio. James Hawthorne, thanks. He hears us. Make sure we got a video. Looking sound good, says Scott Bogut. Very good, guys. Thanks so much for being in here. I will pause this. And with that said, on this Friday, we will just get started kicking ass and taking names, Lurch. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, well.
Sure. Let's do that.
All right, so I want to start with a special, it's an announcement. It's also a concern. And I'm actually going to pull the community here, Lurch.
Jesus. What did you come up with today?
Nothing, dude.
I'm sure it's at my expense, no matter what it is.
Dude, since when have I ever...
Every other podcast that...
Done anything
Every podcast that there's not another guest on.
I just want to pull in the private chat here, the patron member. It is a live video broadcast and chat for patron members only, mid-level and above. So the question is, and I just want a yes or no from y'all. Is it rude to go in, let's just, for the studio, for reference, let me, yeah, you can't, okay. Off to Lurch's, you're looking at him, his right shoulder is a door. It's shut because it's to the bathroom for aesthetics. Do you all think it's rude to go in said bathroom, tear it up? I mean, splatter, explode, whatever you're doing in there.
You're exaggerating.
Tear it up.
Jesus.
Well, hang on. So, and tear it up. And then the question is, if you did that and the rest of this is a studio and the bathroom's over there, do you think it's acceptable to just, leave the bathroom door wide open and let the stank?
The fan was on.
So we have an admission.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a true story.
Sucking fresh air into the bathroom.
Twice. Do you think it is customary to close the door with the fan on to get rid of some of the stank since it is a bathroom, or should you leave the door open and let that bleed into the rest of the facility for everybody to smell and enjoy? So the question, and then you can do a yes or no. Should you close the door after you take a shit, or should you leave it wide open? So let me hear your, we have a little delay here, but,
well, obviously,
so it's not a yes or no. You can just say close it or leave it open. Clearly, Lurch is he's on his own page of music here. So close the door or leave it open. You can leave us some comments in the chat. We appreciate all you being here.
The funny thing is,
so there is an admission.
Yeah,
I just want to say.
And the funny thing is, I walked back in here and went, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, right. And that's his own brand.
I know.
And his own brand he couldn't handle. So
Scott says to close the door and give a warning.
Yeah.
I should have walked out and said, hey, don't go in there for about 35, 45 minutes.
Correct. That would be close it. Yes. Everybody, Gary Jackson, close it. Yes. Because here's the question, Lurch. I don't know what would why you think, not once, because I called you on it last time. And then this was just earlier this week. What would make you think that is acceptable practice? Because I guarantee Miss Couchman, if we did a cold call right now at your home,
say he leaves the door open.
Yeah, at home, dude, you don't just take a shit and walk out and leave the door open and all your wife's walking by, dude. I guarantee.
But in all fairness, our bathroom's got a window in it, so I open the window and close the door. That way you're sucking in fresh air. We don't have a opening window in here.
But you have a fan, dude. It doesn't matter. You keep the stank behind the closed door.
Really?
There is no justification for this, dude.
You need fresh air to be pulled in there and blow it out.
Nobody else is there. nobody else wants to tell you you're wrong in here. Only Gary Jackson. So I appreciate it, Gary, stepping
And
up to
Scott.
the plate.
Scott.
Oh, did Scott too?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Thank you, Scott and Gary. I appreciate it. So hopefully from here on out, we've had the conversation.
Gary says at home, I don't close the door ever.
If you really want to make your wife mad, that's the way to do it. Just stank the whole bedroom up, dude. The master bathroom, just leave it wide open so the whole bedroom stinks. Yeah, dude, that's funny. All right. Close it. James Hawthorne stepped up. All right. It's a majority. Lurch. You've been told.
All right. I will try to commit that to memory, so maybe next time I will remember.
And
now I'm just going to probably leave it open.
And
all
if you
the time
smell lurch, you would understand what I'm saying. This is beyond the normal.
I have a sensitive belly.
So I don't know what you were saying about me at your expense.
Yeah, I have no idea what I was talking about.
Lurch is just like, why do I do this with him?
I'm starting to wonder. It's a good thing you pay me.
Yeah, no doubt, dude. No doubt. Oh, God. You want to ride longer? Are you sore of a tired and achy ass? Fix it with a high-quality butt buffer seat cushion. Head over to the Law Abiding Biker store. Check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions. Just got back. I rode to Oregon last week for a police motorcycle conference. Oregon and back, Hillsboro. Better believe on my tractor seat. Had my butt buffer. Saved my ass. And then I just got back here a day ago. Went to Spokane, Washington, and back home. 3 hours both ways. And you better believe I had the butt buffer on my police bike. And of course,
any of the officers ask you about it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. They did the old...
what do you got there, old man?
Yeah. Well, no, here's the deal.
Yeah.
Are my two youngest guys, here's what happens, and they're a little bit younger, and everything's about, and I get it, I've been there, everything's about the cheapest. How much can I save?
Oh, yeah.
What's the cheapest piece of shit from China that I can get and will serve somewhat of a purpose without spending? So like heated gear, I get it though. I get it. I'm just in you get older, you're supposed to get a little more settled. And so they had these cheap Amazon air bubble.
Oh, those are horrible.
Dude. And it comes with a little pump thing, and you pump it, and then you can let a little bit of air out. Yeah. I'm not saying it doesn't help. I'm saying it looked, and I felt it, and it was so thin. And maybe I'm sure the one doesn't even have a bike off duty. So if he uses it twice and it was $9.99 on Amazon, then he's got his money worth, right? But it's not gel. It's not the hospital grade material for, but I'm sure it helps, but I couldn't believe I felt it just kind of like, those are not going to last very long. And that if you took a cross country trip on that, you're probably going to end up halfway through the trip, not with that working anymore. Anyways, I get it. I'm not dogging them. We've all been there once.
I tried the air seats. They just, in theory, it should work, right?
It does seem, yeah.
You pump it up, you sit on it, you let the air out till you're just off the seat. But the problem is I felt detached from the motorcycle.
Yeah.
You're just kind of floating on top of it. And I didn't seem to have as good a control with the butt buffer. You're planted. You're right on it.
Yeah. You're just on the hospital grade.
And you don't have to dick around with a pump and blowing up a seat, and it won't leak if punctured.
Right. Yeah. It won't leak if that's the thing. Yeah. That's the first thing I looked at it. And it's fun to examine stuff like that just to see what's out there. Cause, and again, I am lightly teasing them, about that. And I get it. It was it was probably super cheap. Let's look up.
A couple of comments here. Gary Jackson says, last week did 1,100 mile ride to North Dakota and back on my butt buffered. Don't leave home without it. And Graham just reminding me of blowing up the bathroom down in 2 years ago down in Pasco.
Thank you. And we had a jury trial on that.
Yeah.
Yep.
He says, sounds like the 2022 patron meetup at the Law Abiding Biker store.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I was falsely accused. Somebody else
it was not.
It up.
You were convicted, and that's what O.J. Simpson said too.
Probably taking it to the Supreme Court.
Well, I haven't seen you appeal it. I think your appeal time is over, bro.
Only because you make up the rules.
Here's what they had.
Yeah.
So like something similar to this, like $30. I'll actually show you guys what I'm looking at on your screen there. It was something similar to this. And I don't know if this was the exact brand.
There's some better ones than that. There's, Airhawk is the brand that I had used, and then there's Wild Ass is another one. Both of them are air seats.
There's a bunch of these on Amazon, and everybody's just putting their own name on them. They're from Chinese, factory, and people just throw their names. Oh, this was more like it.
Yeah, those are the cheap ones.
This was the ones like they have.
They got a name, JEMIA. They just make up names.
Yep. And then you'll find it down here called Hookah or something. Yeah. It was very similar to all these. They're all in the $30 price range, but they're these. Yeah. So I just wanted to show you guys what we're looking at there. All right. We got some, we got a great episode. We're going to talk tire talk, guys, and we're going to get in deep here in a little bit, but we do just want to mention the Law Abiding Biker store is flourishing because of you all. And we're doing a lot of videos. You've probably seen them over on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. We are on TikTok too, but we do a lot of the promo stuff on Instagram. We do throw it on Facebook too, but a majority of it goes over there. And of course, long form videos on YouTube. I do YouTube shorts, so if it goes on Instagram, it does go on a YouTube short too. But get following over there, guys. We have a lot of fun on Instagram, and but we're adding products faster than we can advise you guys. So these are some of the new opportunities in the Law Abiding Biker store. We're not, you guys know right now, this is going to go out public, obviously, at some point, but this is private with the patrons right now. And so you guys know, I'm kind of saying this for the audience that's going to listen to it later. We're not a big conglomerate. However, we are a dealer and we have access to the same wholesalers as any of the big guys. So anything you see on their stores, we can get you for the most part. When it comes to motorcycle accessories and parts, we are trying to add some clothing. We just added helmets, which Lurch is going to talk about. But by and far, any motorcycle accessory you see out there, hit us up. And right at our store, you can just hit our contact form on the main page and tell us what you want. And we may not have it listed in the store yet. Obviously, we can't list everything right away. But we can certainly look it up and get it to you just as fast as anybody else, because they're not, we're getting it from the same places is what I'm saying. So, Lurch, you want to talk about some of the new things, and we appreciate all you shopping in there. It does help us out, help support us. We're just a company of bootstrap bikers trying to help as many bikers as we can worldwide, guys. And this is one of the big ways we do it.
One of the first things that I want to talk about is tires, and that's what this episode's about, so I won't go too crazy into it. But right now on the website, we've got touring tires up because that's a large part of our demographics, touring bikes. So there is the Michelin, the Metzler Cruise Techs, the Michelin Commander 3s, the American Elites, the Dunlop American Elites, and then there's a higher tire. Let me look here. You kind of caught me off guard. I should have known what was coming, shouldn't I?
Yes.
There's the Metzler 888 Marathons, so that's a high mileage tire. So we've got those on there. But again, like Ryan said, we can get you any tire you need pretty much. So if you see something or you got a different bike that you're trying to get a tire for, just hit us up at the contact on our store website, and we will get you hooked up.
Yes, sir.
In addition, we brought helmets in. We have access to a lot of helmets now. That was a long time in the making.
Pull that mic back real quick. Sorry, you forgot to do that. It's right in front of. Luckily, it was focused on you, just out of the way, so it's not. There you go. So it's not focused on. Yeah, perfect. Thanks.
A little behind the scenes action there. So helmets we can get Shoei, HJC, Alpine Star, Cortex. So we can get several different kinds of helmets. We've brought in the Shoeis. You've got
the Shoei Neotech 3s
in particular. Yeah, a lot of what we have right now is the modulars because that's really what we prefer.
Which is the Neotechs, right?
Yep. Right. And we have HJC in there too. So we have,
yes, I was just saying Shoei specifically. We don't have yet the non-modular Shoeis. The Neotech is
that's the ones in the store. And again, you can contact us on the website there and inquire if there's something else you're looking for. But we've got the Grasp, which is the model that you're using. It's a white, red, and black helmet. Mm-hmm. Pretty cool looking helmet.
Well, there's 3 different colors for the Grasp, but the one we have is that we've got all of them. We can get you any of them, right?
Yep.
So I just want to make sure the Grasp is actually 3 different colors.
Yeah, red, white, and black is the one you have. Correct. But there is other versions.
Yes, that's what I was getting at. Yeah.
And without getting into the colors of them, it's on the website. Go check it out. But we also have the solid colors as well. And then we brought in some HJCs to have a more affordable helmet, a budget helmet, if you will. And then we've got some
C91.
Yes, the C91. That's a new modular from HJC.
I'm looking at our store right now, guys. I'm popping it on your screen there. This is the HJC. Let me show you this is the Shoei Neotech. If you're listening later in podcast form, this is why it's good to be a patron member, live video broadcast and chat. You get to see here exactly what I'm looking at. This is the one I got, and I've done a bunch of Instagram posts, some really cool pictures of it in the sun. And we've got the different face shields too, guys. Down here, if I scroll down, yeah, then we've got the pin locks, and then there's the shields. And then I put this bad boy on that one, on my personal helmet. Then on my police, my Shoei Neotech 2, I put this guy right there, the kind of blue one. But this looks really good. I posted some photos. I may have did it in the private Facebook group too, but all right, Lurch, go on.
And that, for a long time, I was just a solid black guy, either just, matte black or regular black. But we've done some podcasts in the past about being seen. And I can tell you that your helmet with that white and the contrast with the white and the black and the red really grabs your attention.
It does.
And that's really what you want to be seen. I mean, ideally, that's why you guys at work wear white helmets, the white and black helmets, because it sticks out. And then we've also got some Z1R half helmets in there in the store for those of you that still prefer the half helmet. And then we brought some gloves. We got some Icon gloves in there. We've got a synthetic glove, and then we got a leather glove. So just a few of the new items we've added. Wanted to highlight.
Yep. There you go, guys, and a lot more than that. So just get over to the store and shop around, and you'll see new, menu items and drop downs and the different parts and all that. So we appreciate your support. All right, we'll do a email here real quick, and then we will dive in to the main podcast, guys.
So this is an email from Too Tall. He says, I'm having trouble finding videos on older Harleys like my 09 Road Glide and a friend's 09 Dyna. Do you have anything on installing an S&S big bore kit like the 110? I also have a 2021 Pan America that I would love to see you do videos on maintenance and operation on the infotainment center. I don't know if it's like the touring baggers or if it's different, especially how to connect my Cardo to it. I'm still trying to catch up on the podcast, and you probably have discussed the Pan. We just have not gotten to them as I started at the beginning. That's awesome. And still have about 9 years catching up. LOL. One last question is, if you come across a way to make a seat less slippery. I'm thinking some idiot armoralled the seat before I bought the bike, which is a little nerve-wracking with the power that this thing has. I know you guys like voicemails, but I didn't want to take multiple calls to get all this in. Plus wait to get through the years of episodes to hear you answer it. Thanks for all you guys are doing and love the podcast. Look forward to finding videos of yours to help me out with things. YouTube is kind of a pain search for a specific topic in your channel, at least on my portable porn device cell phone. Hopefully I can get time to try it on my computer. Thanks for your time. A no-tech redneck from Northwest PA.
Nice.
And here was your response. We don't have videos on a lot of older stuff as it's just hard to get our hands on them. And it's sort of more of a niche area anyways. I did have a 2000 Night Train up until a month ago. So we don't have anything for a big bore kit on an 09. I've ridden and reviewed the Pan America several times, and originally in Sturgis when it was first released. The best way to search our content is to go directly to our website and use the search bar. It has great searchability, and you have access to the last 11 years of content, including videos. We haven't had a Pan America long-term, so we don't have videos so far as the maintenance and the infotainment system goes. It's a completely different system from the regular touring models. If the seat is slippery, I definitely recommend putting on our beloved butt buffer seat cushion. It will immediately make it less slick, and your ass will thank you every time you ride. Super stoked you are backlogging our 11 years of podcast. We have put a ton of information out there, and when you search our website, you'll come up with not only articles, but videos and podcasts relating to the topic. Thanks for your support, and let us know if we can help you with anything else.
Thank you so much for the question. We really appreciate it. And lawabidingbiker.com/contact. You can leave a voicemail or an email over there. Oh, yeah. Here we go, guys. Welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. That's right, you freaking bikeaholics. Oh, this is the podcast for the motorcycle majority of the Big MM, also known as the
99%
large in charge of the motorcycle scene. By being here, by listening, you're part of what we call the hashtag
Biker Revolution.
We have just one question. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics?
Mount up and let us take you on another wild-ass ride.
There you go. Ryan Urlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast, and your
high-tech redneck.
There you go. All right. So,
whoa, yeah. Sassy.
Lou's in here. Lou, the studio dog. He wants a mic.
Hey.
So, new free video, Lurch. Do you want to? We're putting out videos like crazy, and this is one of the new ones that we put out.
This one is called "Your Stock Harley Shift Linkage Will Fail at Some Point. Fix It." And you can find the link to that in the show notes. Those stock Harley shifter linkages are notorious for failing. They got a pressed ball and socket that wears out over time, and then it just falls off and leaves you stranded. But not the Kuryakin shifter linkages that we sell. They've got Heim joints. The one we've never had one fail, and we got tens of thousands of miles on them, and it's a affordable solution to a problem that you could have down the road. Don't wait until it's too late and you got to get the baling wire and the duct tape out. Fix it ahead of time.
Yep. We've sold the bejesus out of those.
Yes, we have. We've bought out our distributor twice now.
We did, and they come and go. So
they do.
Get them in the store, because if you wait too long, it might not have it, or you might have to wait till it comes back in. We moved those things, guys. And you probably all seen the video. Very popular video. Got a ton of views. We've done them over the years. Yeah, it's over there. Check it out. We do have different models in the Law Abiding Biker store for you.
A little behind the scenes on Kuryakin, who makes those. They've been bought out. The distributor that owned Kuryakin was Tucker, and Tucker was bought out by Turn 14, and they bought the Kuryakin brand. So, they're kind of in some growing pains of taking on this new brand. And so some of the stock that we're getting is they bought it all up from Tucker, and they're bringing it into the Turn 14 warehouses, and it seems to come in whenever they get it in. And so I'm constantly watching the website. I've got notifications on there. When it comes in, we buy them out. So if you're thinking about getting one and it's in stock, you might want to grab it because it may go out of stock again for a little while.
Yep, we're the only one of the ones that have them online because we bought them out.
Yeah.
And with that said, the reason we like that one is because it's good quality. We've used it over thousands and thousands of miles over like the past 10 years. And also it's affordable. It's a really good price point compared to some of the other craziness out there online for just a shift linkage. So that's why we like that particular one so much. And that's why we brought that one to the store. So anyways, also I just want to mention real quick, Zero 3D guys, remember they're working on 24. So if you got a 24 bike, we found out today.
Yeah.
We're always doing research for you guys because that's what we do. And we run a store and we need to be able to answer questions. And so a lot of times we will pull things out of the package and test things and stuff like that. So anyways, not a big deal, but we did find, so we've all our fitment's correct on the website, but just know that 24 stuff, when you're splitting the brake plug back there, it's a larger plug now. They're going to split it the same way, CAN bus, but every company's going to have to do this. And so it's got, a lot of their products would work fine if it had the right splitter. And so I don't know exactly how they're going to do that, whether they're going to have another SKU for us and we'll have that for 24 newer, or if they're just going to equip the boxes with both, the older plug or the new. We'll see. Anyways, as soon as we have it, it will be out. And I'm excited to see what Zero 3Ds. You were in a meeting with them,
Yep.
Lurch, and
I could kind of see the board a little bit.
Yeah.
It was too far away to tell exactly what they were working on, but they did tell me that they're working on a lot of stuff for the new bike. The problem is the plugs are different and the ECMs are a little bit different. They've got to figure all that out, but that's what they do. So they will.
Well, and 3D map like the rear of the bike because the lights are going to be completely different. The filler lights, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So aside, some of their other products will work once they get the plug, but then other products like brake lights and tail lights have to be completely modified. They 3D print the bikes and all that.
We do have a headlight. I can't talk about it, but there is a headlight that we're going to get our hands on for the road glides.
Teaser.
Keep an eye out for that. It's a brand new headlight that will be available from Zero, and it's exciting.
It'll be coming out on the YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. We'll be dropping a vid on it. And
we'll be the only ones to have it. The first ones, I should say.
Yeah. And it's exciting. It's an exciting project that we're doing with them. And it will be coming up right before July or something.
Yeah, it'll be about the middle of July.
Middle to
third week of July, the video will be out.
Get subbed to the YouTube channel so you're notified, because there will be a limited amount of what we're talking about when at first launch, and it's going to take a while to. So, yeah. If you're subbed, you'll know right away, and you can snatch one up if that particular one works for you. So, yeah. All right. So we want to thank these folks real quick. We appreciate our sponsors up front, but these folks are also the reason that we're coming to you after 11 years now.
I'd like to thank the following new patrons: Adam Marlin of Wilderville, Tennessee; John Corday of Charleston, South Carolina. He's a top tier patron; and David Swick of Williamsville, New York. LawAbidingBiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Pledge a certain amount per piece of content. No risk to you, because you could put a monthly cap so you stay within your budget. We totally get that. Many benefits, such as t-shirts and stickers. You get access to the private Facebook group, a troll-free zone, nothing but bikers helping and connecting with other bikers. You get access to live video broadcasts and chat like this, podcasts early, access to our premium videos up on requests for you top tier, and access to those ride, meetup, and events. We definitely appreciate you considering becoming a patron member. Not only our ride, meetup, and events, which are coming up in short order in Tennessee, we'll be heading out here shortly at the time of this podcast to do a huge patron meetup over there and do our East Coast ride. But also there's a lot of other rides that are organized within that private Facebook group. And again, bikers just connecting with bikers in there. So yeah, no better time to get hooked up in there. So we're going to dive into our main topic, which is all about tire talk, age, balancing, styles, etc. And I do want to give, since I trashed Lurch at the beginning of the episode, I do want to give him props for bringing this together and a lot of notes, and he did a lot of research to try to make a very informative something that you can fall back on, and other people in the biker community and podcast listeners and things like that. And I know a lot of you have experience too. So if you're in the chat, there's also a lot of myths, which we found out and Lurch did research on. And you guys know I'm not a fan of forums. I think they're a horrid old school way to get information, and half times it's wrong, and people yell at each other in there, and there's trolls and like this, there's a lot of shitty information, and you just don't know who you're getting it from, unlike the private Facebook group, which is somewhat of a forum, but it's controlled and monitored, and everybody's in there to help each other. And if you forgot, in that private Facebook group, there's a search bar. So if you go in the private Facebook group, you can search. So if you search tires, you will come up with everything over the last 11 years or 10 years that's been talked about tires, every post, every link. And so, but it's monitored, and people want to be in there. So, the regular public forums, I hate them. I've had to try to sift through them before, and I'm like, I'm surprised they still exist. Just not, you can just go to YouTube, go to our YouTube channel or our website or the private Facebook group. But anyways, with that said, Lurch did a good job putting all this together. So, he will be doing a lot of this and chiming in on it, but I think it's some good information, and I learned some things too. And so we're going to try to succinctly put this in an order that will we'll do our best.
We'll do our best, and we will.
We might get sidetracked.
I will guarantee we will not sidetrack today.
Whatever.
Okay. And if you guys have anything in the private Facebook or the private chat here, just I
just asked them.
Let us up if you had an experience or something weird that you think you want the community to. Feel free to chat at all, but we'll try to dive in there and piece anything out that maybe the general listening audience needs to know about. So
yeah, I just asked in the chat what tires they're running and why did they choose them. So we'll see what we get back.
Oh yeah. Nice question. Yeah.
Before we dive into that though, I don't know if everybody's aware of this series Harley Davidson's put out called Push the Limit. It's about the King of the Baggers series. And it's about last year's races, last year's series.
They followed them all year, the doc film crew.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the factory riders. They followed all of the Harley riders.
Yep.
So all the different teams. And I really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun to learn a little bit more about each of the racers and kind of their background. And I didn't realize how much the mothership was sharing with those other non-factory teams. They've really shared a lot of, like, the rear swing arms and a lot of data. You know, they've been sharing a lot of data just to keep those, you know, try to make Harley as a brand and as a, you know, a whole, trying to keep them at the top of the pile.
Terry Vance says that in there. He's like, you know, that took us to a level where we can compete, because they had a lot of other stuff. You know, they understand powertrain, they understand all that, but when some of that frame stuff and things was able to, how the Vance and Hines boys, obviously they're awesome racers too. Don't get me wrong, you've got just awesome riders, but that was able to bring them in the mix where they can, compete with the factory boys.
Yeah. I just really enjoyed getting a little behind the scenes on the racers themselves, and it shouldn't surprise me, but a lot of them know each other, you know, because they grew up racing each other and in the different series and whatnot.
It's such a small community, the racing community. You forget how bootstrap it is, really.
Yeah.
You know, even they share parts sometimes, you know, coming up through the ranks. We've had a few racers on the show, and there's not hardly any money in it, really. When you get to a certain level, you get enough sponsors, like where, you know, race for a factory team like Kyle, you know, Wyman and things like that. It's just a really, you know, when you're younger and you see it on TV, you think it's a huge professional. Oh, they're, you know, you don't know. You're like, oh, they're so rich and they're racing superbikes. There's just not that a ton of money in it.
Yeah, a lot of them aren't full-time racers. That's one of their jobs. You know, they have to have other jobs to support themselves.
Or they're racing. Some are racing superbikes, like Gillum is racing superbikes and King of the Baggers and trying to work for two teams. And so, it's a good series. Hardy did a really good job with it. It's on their YouTube channel. Also,
and at the time of this recording, they're all out.
Yes, they are.
They were dripping out, I think, one a week, but at the time of this recording, all 6 of the series is out.
They're about 30 minutes a piece, and I watched them as they dripped them one at a time, and I couldn't wait for the next one. And if you're at all into, you know, King of the Baggers, which I don't know how you wouldn't be, once I watched one, I was like hooked, especially once I went to one of the live races. But hook, line, and sinker for me. I mean, what's better than, it's really taken over the motorcycle racing scene. And there was a lot of pushback. They're pretty humble about it in the doc when they talk about it, but having some side conversations in the past, you know, it upset. And whenever you come in and do something like this in a very established, but I think this is what racing needed, an upset. Everything needs an upset because it was getting pretty bland. And this brought way more, and they're recognizing it now. And now other countries want to get in on it. Like, this thing ain't done.
No, it's going to continue growing.
Infancy, really. And it's going to blow racing out. And you're going to see more and more professional riders wanting to go to this class just because of the amount of attention it's getting. So anyways, it's really, good series and well worth the watch. It's free, of course. And over on their YouTube channel. That's it. I don't know if they're going to do another one for this season, or, you know, if they're going to do one next year for this season, but I think they will. Hardy's all in on it, and they're getting a ton of recognition for it. And so I think it's worth the time for them to document it and do a film each year. 'Cause they did one the year before, but it was just it was like that hour long, right? Remember that the year before?
Yeah.
Where they talked about Kyle and Travis growing up at the dealership. It was like just one, and then this was a 6-part docu-series. So they upped the game there.
Yeah, and if they did another one next year, I don't know how they would make it a long one like this, because the reason this one went longer was 6 episodes is they were diving into each team and each rider, so there's a lot more to cover versus just a recap of the season. But yeah, it'd be smart of them to put something together for this 2024 season.
Yep, I will. And Lurch brought these up. I'm looking in the show notes. Producer extraordinaire brought up some season standings. So upsetter for sure. We knew when Troy Herfoss was coming in.
First race I watched him,
we both said we got holy shit. Indians got them a rider right there. And not that Tyler O'Hara is an amazing rider too. He's had kind of a tough season, but he's sitting in third. So Troy Herfoss, you got Indian. Again, these are just at the time. This is early season. We got a lot of races, but Troy sits there. Then Kyle and Troy have been back and forth, and that's going to continue. And then Tyler sitting at number 3, even though he's had not the best season, he's gotten points. He's put points on the board. And then you got old James Rispoli, who's a loose cannon. That guy, he is an amazing rider, and he's a real great personality too. Yeah. We got to interview him. We did a podcast. Go back, guys. We got to interview Kyle and James preseason. They hadn't raced yet. It was preseason. Yeah. And so James could bump Tyler, Kyle, and Herfoss. He's just, you don't know what Rispoli's going to do. That's the thing with Rispoli, dude. He's got the skills. Remember, he's new to the factory team this year. He came from Vance and Hines. And so obviously there's a learning curve there, working with the team, working with it, riding a new bike. He had years to dial the V&H bike in. Now they're trying to dial this one in. So watch out there. And then Hayden Gillum, of course, speaks for itself. Those are your top 5, and then everybody else falls in below. But those are your contenders, and we knew that, your top 5. And
that's no surprise that they're up there at the top.
No, not at all. And
I didn't realize Hayden hadn't raced for a couple of years. He had been out and came back in to race the baggers, so he was coming off like a 2-year hiatus.
Yes, right, yeah. Where he almost quit.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's doing
7
really
second
well.
thoughts. Mm-hmm. And Tyler or Troy and Kyle are up there in points.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
They're close. Everybody else is down there, so it'll take a little bit of catching up for 3, 4, 5. They're going to have to put some points on the board, so to speak, to get it. But it's fun, and many more races coming up. Obviously, I subscribe to Moto America Live, and I watch them live, and I have them all on my calendar, and I just can't wait. And I love watching them live while they're happening before it all comes out on social media. It's worth a subscription just for the season. Then you can dump it if you want, if you're not into the rest of the racing, but they do a good job over there on Moto America Live. And then if you're not into that, you can watch them. They do put them up on YouTube. I can't remember how quick, but they are putting all the races on their YouTube channel, but it's well after. That's a problem. If I don't see it, once in a while I miss one live and I have to watch it like 2 hours later, I stay off social media because you roll through your Instagram and it has them on the podium or something. You're like, I can't. I leave my social media off till I watch it myself because it takes the fun out of it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. My wife likes to hear me screaming at the TV, and my daughter, she's like, Dad, what were you going on up there? And I go, I was watching King of the Baggers, and I get intense, dude. I get a little bit stressed, quite honestly, because I have so much fun doing it. It's probably like some people watching like football and stuff, which I can't, necessarily get into, but I can get into racing and yell at the TV and be on the edge of my seat. All right.
And we learned just recently when we did the episode with patron Brad Johnston, if you're a hog member, you can get a discount on your
I forgot
your purchase for the
that's right,
the season on Moto America,
which we didn't.
We forgot
because I forgot I was a hog member because I just got it because I got a new bike. I was like, I guess I am technically speaking, but you can get a discount. Yeah, that was good. All right, so let's talk. Why don't you start it out here and just go with it, bro? And I'm going to read some of the tires in here.
One of the biggest questions is how long do my tires last? Is it 5 years? Is it 7 years? Is it 10 years? It just depends. So one thing that you like to say is, would you be willing to ride old tires as much as you would, car tires, right? Mm-hmm. On a car, if you've got, I'm going to pull the notes up so I can see them.
I can read them to you. Just tell me when you're ready.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm just going to read them.
Gotcha.
Some of the comments. You just whenever.
When on a motorcycle you got 2 tires, and if one of them goes, whether front or rear, it's going to be an interesting experience. It's not like a car where you have 4 of them. One of them goes, you can control yourself pretty well. You could have potentially a catastrophic incident if you lose a tire on your bike. So, I don't we put enough miles on it. I think a lot of our patrons do, but if you got multiple bikes, it's another story. You may run into a situation where they're just getting too damn old. Generally speaking, if you're out riding all the time, you're going to wear them out way before they go. But depending on who you talk to, there's some of the manufacturers that will say 7 years, some say 10 years. If you scroll up a little bit there, Avon says 7 years. Okay, scroll down then. Avon says they recommend 7 years. Bridgestone, Michelin, Continental, Dunlop all say 10 years. You hear a lot of people saying 5 years, or if you read the forums, like you say, a lot of people are saying 5 years. My brother was in the tire industry. He always told me 10 years. And you got to understand that's a conservative guess, right? If you're a tire manufacturer.
What did you say, guess?
Conservative guess. Yeah.
Guess.
Right.
I just want to key on that word guess. And Lurch is right. That is a guess. And
because there's
nothing backed by science on that.
There's so many factors that come into play.
Which
we'll
we're
talk about those factors. But if you're making a tire, especially a motorcycle tire, you're going to want to be conservative because you don't want your tires failing when somebody's riding it, right?
Yep.
Obviously. So your tires could be good for a lot longer than that. But like a lot of items that manufacturers put out, they put a service life on them for, CYA more than anything, right?
Yep.
But there are some things that could happen. The older tires they can start to harden.
Let's get into that in a second.
Okay.
Let me follow up on this a little bit while we're there. So here's what I'll say. And I know I joke around a lot, guys. I'm a very serious guy. I try to be very serious about life in general. What I'm about to tell you is not only it is serious, but it's also funny if you think about it this way. And I've said this to Lurch and I've said it to other people. I ride daily, obviously, on a police motorcycle in very extreme situations, at a lot of different speeds, high speeds, low speeds, you name it, trying to get through traffic, training in rain, in sun, and, hot, cold. So what I'm saying is, Lurch and I talked about this lightly. We were laughing before the episode. There's a lot of things that you can spend your money on for your motorcycle. We know that. We love to accessorize. We love exhaust. We love all that stuff, right? A lot of that has nothing to do with safety. And so I have to laugh when I see the guy and I'm laughing inside, that you walk over to his $40,000 Harley and he's got every piece of chrome and accent and gadget on that. And you look down, he's got fucking Shinko tires. What? I can't and I know that's funny. It's true. You're on a motorcycle. The one thing I tell people, you can skimp a lot of places. He probably could have saved for a month and bought the chrome later. You got to think safety first. I know we don't think about it, but when I say it like this, I hope it helps people think about it. Tires and brakes are the only two things on that motorcycle that are going to save your life. Helmet, we can get into gear. I'm talking about components. Those two things cannot fail, because if they fail, you might not get a second chance. You're not in a car. You alluded to it earlier. So I just want to grab those guys and go, you bought an expensive bike. The one thing you don't want to cheap out on is brake pads and tires. So I just urge the motorcycle community to spend a little bit extra on your tires and treat yourself well. Make sure you get quality brand name brake pads. Everything else you can skimp on, or you can get later, if you want to get that chrome or the exhaust, save an extra couple months, but I just can't believe it. And you will see it. You will see it. And I'll also see bikes with mismatched tires. You can probably get away with it for a while. Maybe not. And it's not great for handling. Again, I don't know why guys are just effing with their life when it comes to tires. So
even on cars, you really shouldn't switch up tire compositions.
But if one blows, you're probably going to be okay.
Yeah.
No, you're not supposed to as a rule.
Yeah.
But again, I've blown a tire in a car. It's really anticlimactic.
Generally speaking,
I just pull, if you know what you're doing, you just slowly brake and pull to the right. Semis do it all the time. Big old carcasses coming at you, and they pull off the road. So, you get what I'm saying. I just don't skimp. So this is an important conversation. If you are one of those that has skimped in the past, and you also want to get the most bang for your buck. And I get that. And there are options, and I'm seeing some of them here in the chat, and we will bring a lot of those up here in a bit, guys, as we dive further into this. But I just wanted to get that out in the open. This is an important conversation, even though we're having fun with it. Treat yourself well. You deserve it. You deserve a good set of tires on your $40,000 touring motorcycle, or 30 or whatever you paid for it. All right, I'm done. I'm off my soapbox.
No, I think it was a good soapbox to be on. It's true. There's not a whole lot that's between you and the road, and your tires and your brakes are hugely important. Just talking about tires and the age of tires, I think one of the biggest concerns is that they're going to harden as they get older, and
That's what she said.
Usually it
softens when you get older. Yeah, what's my problem?
You sidetracked me. You said you weren't going to sidetrack me. So the concern is that they're going to get hard and you're going to lose traction. So there was a video that we saw that was on RevZilla. They did a empirical study. So an empirical study is where you actually go out and put these theories to use and see what's true and what's not. So they had a set of 7-year-old, I call them crotch rockets tires, and they went out and they raced. The guy that tested it was a former racer, and he's on a crotch rocket, and he used some brand new tires, went out, ran the track, had a good time. And then he put the 7-year-old tires on. These were old new stock, I guess you'd call it. New old stock. So they were new tires, but they were old. They've been sitting around for 7 years. And he went out and ripped it around the course and didn't really notice a whole lot of difference.
He didn't notice any difference.
Yeah.
He said they grabbed just as well.
Yeah. So the concern of them getting hard and losing traction, I'm sure they do harden a little bit, but not generally speaking.
That's what your wife said?
Yeah. Not generally to the point where you're gonna lose traction. Now we're gonna get into some stuff about how to store them and all that kind of stuff, because that really does matter. If you've got them out in the sunlight and they're getting baked, they're gonna dry rot, and then of course, obviously, you're gonna want to replace them right away. But we just want to go through some things that you can do to to properly maintain your tires and to extend the life of them. And if you're somebody who's lucky enough to have more than one bike and you may not get the miles on them, you want to make those tires last as long as you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very good. Lou, the studio dog, chilling like a villain in here. You guys can see him. He was getting kind of bored.
He's getting a little salty in his old age. He's starting to fill his oats. You
know what? Now everybody has an addiction, okay, of some sort. And I'm not talking like drugs or whatever. That could be yours. I don't know. But we've all got our things we go to, addictions. Would you like to know what Lou's? I can't, it's getting to the point where it's a little bit of annoying. My wife definitely doesn't like it. Do you have any guesses, anybody, on what Lou has a mass addiction to?
That your wife doesn't like? Sniffing her crotch.
Well, no.
Okay.
No, he will do that. We call him in our house the panty bandit.
Yes.
That is one thing.
Yeah, don't leave those laying around.
I don't think that's his top addiction. He goes in the closet, he'll get in the hamper, and he likes the panties.
And the more he uses, the better.
Correct. Yeah. The more soiled, the better, in whatever form. He's really a pervert. If he was a human, I'm fairly confident he would be in prison as a sex offender of some sort. But that's not his main addiction. Do you have any other guess? That was a good guess, though. He definitely has a tendency towards panties. He is my dog.
I don't know if that's a little dog thing or a dog thing in general.
I think it's a dog thing.
Yeah, because
they have sensitive noses.
Yeah,
and it's
ours would actually pull Angela's through the hamper.
Okay,
we had to change up the type of hamper we had.
Okay, yep.
And she's a female dog, but she would pull them through the knot in the hamper and gnaw on them.
You probably taught her how to do that. Lurches down there.
Can't leave them laying around. Never bothered mine though. I'm not sure what the deal is there.
Any other guesses?
No. You can't even say it.
Almond Roca.
Oh no, Kitty Roca.
Dude.
Has he been eating cat shit?
Oh, dude. He likes it when the fudge is fresh out of the chute.
Oh my God.
And my wife hates it when I talk like this because I tell her out. I go, he's in there, he's got some hot fudge. Dude, this dog, you don't even have to clean the kitty litter box half the time because this dog. God. And then what do you find all over the hardwood floor? Pieces of kitty litter.
Yeah.
First thing in the morning, dude, you open to let the cats out of the pantry, dude. Guess who's in the Almond Roca? Right there.
Oh, no.
That's your guilty dude right there.
Filthy animal.
He is filthy, dude.
How embarrassing.
But I've never had a dog that doesn't like almond roca.
Kitty roca.
That's the, I'm sure you all know, but that's the cat turds in the kitty litter.
Because it looks like almond roca.
It looks exactly like almond roca.
Yeah, we refer to it as kitty roca.
Kitty roca. That's his addiction. And I don't know how, but it does irritate the wife pretty bad. It does irritate me. Yeah, there you go. Little dog story. But he is the panty bandit too. All right. Getting back on track.
I don't even know where we were now.
So this is what I was going to do. I want to talk about, we're talking about storage and, some of the things you can do. I have a 2016 Dyna Lowrider S original tires because it's like a third bike. We love riding it, but it only gets riding a little bit, especially still got the Indian Pursuit sitting in there.
When are they going to come get that thing?
I don't know. They don't talk about it right now. They were just keeping it. And we've got the Street Glide and the KLR and then my police bike. So if you're wondering why the original tires are on there, looking fine. They're the Scorchers.
Yes. Michelin Scorchers.
Michelin Scorchers. Perfect. I absolutely wouldn't hesitate to do 100 on that bike. Not that I ever have.
On a closed course, maybe.
Closed somewhere. But that would, I wouldn't even think twice about it. It's always been stored in the shop, fairly regulated, insulated. It's not out in extreme heat, not out in extreme cold. And we'll talk about some of those other things. What's that noise? That must be a computer fan or something.
I think it's your computer fan,
okay, it's booting up. So with that said, we will talk about some of this too, because I'm going to be testing some tires, and there's some good comments in here, Lurch.
Yeah,
so with different people, and I'm going to make some people mad in there that bought tires. I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't have, and that they're dangerous. I'm teasing. I'm not going to do that. Actually, the guys nobody's putting Shinkos in there yet. Not that maybe they're good. I don't know, dude.
Oscar will run them. He loves Shinkos.
Yeah, Shinkos.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not on his street bike.
Well, I would be surprised if he did someday.
No, he does on his KLR off-road, and I think that's a little different.
Actually, you're right, because he just ordered. He just ordered American Elite for his bike.
Yeah,
through the store, our store.
Do this real quick.
Hey, bikeaholics searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? Zero 3D has the products you dream about for your bike. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for Harley-Davidson and Honda Goldwing motorcycles. Zero 3D's got your back with chrome and black parts, lighting, and other comfort products. No modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for an easy installation. That equals less time installing and more time riding. Zero 3D has a design team of riders with over 40 years of experience with a passion for design and innovation. Zero and Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. They pride themselves on great customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them via email at sales@zero3d.com or give them a call at 715-808-0027. Check at your local Harley or Honda dealership and ask for Zero or Gold Strike parts. A new leader has emerged, so check out Zero 3D's custom line of Gold Strike products for the all-new Honda Goldwings. Better yet, help support us. Head on over to the Law Abiding Biker store and check out our full line of Zero 3D products.
And you can also hit us up, guys. We can help you with answers, too. We have a lot of experience, but Zero obviously has their techs and stuff. But, Lurch knows a lot about it. Oscar, Lurch is kind of a big deal. He's in meetings now with Zero, telling them what they need to make. And what
I was trying to sneak a peek on that board to see what they're working on. They are working on stuff for the new
covert
bikes.
operations now. He was COO, now he's covert operations, just CO.
Just a CO? Got rid of one of my O's?
Covert operations operator. So he's still COO.
Oh,
that's what it is. Yeah, that was slick, huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I really look forward to what they're going to do with, especially on the rear of those new bikes. I think there's a lot of opportunity on the back of those bikes.
Oh, can't wait. Just the light strike technology so I can control it with an app like I did on my 14 and all that. All right. So moving on from Zero, we love those guys, and we got a lot of projects going on with them this year. Let's talk about some of the things, guys. I personally, let's do this. Let's talk about storage, and then we'll get into the different tires. So I'll just run over this. You've got a list. I'm just going to go off the top of my head. Okay. So from what we learned. So one of the things we didn't mention, tires have a date stamp on them. And if you didn't know how that works, on the side of the tire, there'll be a square box. And I bitched at this to Lurch when he did the research. I go, God forbid they just put the frickin' date on it. Like, can't we just put like 5, 24, 24? No, we can't. We got to do it this way. So what they do is it'll be a 4 block number. And so it'll be like 5117. That would be the 51st week of 2017 is when that was made. So, now it would be I don't even know what week it is, but anyways, you get it. It's the week and then the year that you're in. And I just wish they'd put the regular date, but apparently they ran out of stamps and they can't put the extra month and day there. So, if you want to look at when your tires were actually manufactured, that's the way you do it. It's on the sidewall, and to just look for that big square. There's a picture of it online, and that will tell you when it was made. So some of the storing considerations, obviously, I was telling Lurch, my motorcycles are stored in the shop. They're in a controlled environment, controlled temperatures to a certain extent. I don't run the heat in the shop all winter, only when we're working in there, but it still only gets down to, 50.
Yeah.
And in the summer, it's not going to get, above 70, 80 in here, even if I didn't run the AC, just 80 or something. So not extreme. They're not getting direct sunlight. They're not in front of a window. Those are the things that are going to degrade them. The extreme cold, the extreme heat, of course, direct UV rays is going to do that. And so I was telling Lurch, I have a trailer outside. Well, my boat's under a canopy thing with sidewalls, one of those big, huge tents you can buy and put up, portable garages or whatever you want to call it. And then, so my trailer, one of my utility trailers is parked out by it, but it's not protected at all. But what did I do? I ended up getting new tires for it at some point. And so I have big pieces of plywood that I cut out, and on the side that never is on the sun, I just put the plywood up over on them. Why did I do that? Because sun is going to rot those over time, and the sun just wreaks havoc on sidewalls on tires. If you've ever let them sit out, they'll start cracking and all that. So you got to protect them. A motorcycle is easy if you're storing outside. Get a cover. We don't sell covers yet. We're gonna have to look into some of those.
Another thing to
add to the store. If you need a cover, we can get them. We just don't have them in the store right now. But why
don't we?
Time.
Yeah.
That's it.
We have access to so much right now, and it's just time.
We're building it out, guys. Just takes time. But anyways, back to the cover, pretty easy on a motorcycle to protect with a cover, the entire bike and the tires. So definitely worth the investment because a cover is cheaper than tires, and you want to get your maximum life out of those. So those are some of the things, and then I know there's more that Lurch. Why don't you finish up with some of the other things that can take a toll on the life of tires?
Well, the problem is I wasn't listening. I'm sorry, because I was.
The other thing you can do, they say.
Text I had to
answer, I talked about the heat, cold, sun. One of the other things they were talking about is like something with your fridge puts out, and we're not going to get technical about it, but just essentially.
Well,
ozone.
Yeah. So let's talk about tires on the bike versus off the bike. If they're off the bike and you're storing them, a good thing to do is to put them in either a container, plastic container, which is kind of not real easy to do. So you can just grab a black 33-gallon garbage sack and put that in there, wrap it up. It's going to keep the sunlight off the tire, and it's going to keep ozone and oxygen off of it. Obviously, oxygen will break down the molecules in the rubber and cause oxidization, and ozone is just a more potent version of oxygen, if you will. And things that create ozone are like large electric motors and stuff. So even like your beer fridge out there and your air compressor, all those are creating ozone. Is it enough to really worry about? I don't think so.
We're just
these are just things. Yeah, these are things that can affect it. So if you're storing tires, if you bought some tires and they're not on the bike,
which we do here, we keep tires in the shop.
Yeah, we should probably wrap them in a black plastic bag if they're going to be up there for a while. But
if they're going to be up there for 10 years, but we use them within a year. So,
and I think all of us, and we've been guilty of it. I've seen them out there. We stack them.
I think you'd have to get really high for that to be an effect. One tire.
Probably. But
what you're getting at is it compresses, and, even when a tire's on a bike and it has pressure on it, compresses the sidewalls. Those have a life. And what they're saying, this is getting really nitpicky, but if you stack 10 tires on top of each other, the bottom one and then the next one, right, they're going to get some compression and weight on them.
It's what they refer to as mechanical stress.
So they're saying just best practice, store them up, one at a time horizontally.
Yeah. If you go to a tire store and look at their tire racks, there's a reason those tire racks, or motorcycle store.
Well, I think it's more about feasibility too. If you stack them to get to the bottom fucking tire, you got to unstack all the other ones. So it makes it really convenient.
If they're all the same tire, it doesn't matter what the hell's on the bottom or top.
Okay. I'm just saying, I think there's more reasons than stacking them to the ceiling, but yes, I agree.
But yes, that's one of the reasons that they use those type of tire racks is then it's not putting stress on the sidewall.
Yeah.
You already talked about sunlight, heat. Yeah, if you can.
Lurch is getting us a tire rack for the store, by the way.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have a lot of people are stopping by now when they're in town, and hit us up if you're going to do that. Lurch is in there most of the time right now, or Oscar, but we will have actual tires in stock.
Yeah, if you're coming through from out of the area, please hit us up on the contact. Make sure I'm there. I don't want you to come all the way through and miss us. So. And if we can't be there, I'd like to let you know that we can't and let you know why. Because today we're working together, recording podcasts. Yep. Store's closed. Hopefully we'll have a full-time employee here in the near future, and that won't be an issue.
Exactly. All right. So some of the other things, so don't stack them.
You mentioned heat, and different climates are going to be different. So, if you live in a hot climate, it could deteriorate quicker than our nice climate up here, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Anything else?
I was trying to figure out what's going on behind me. I was just running his beard
like always.
So if you can't see Louis, he's back here doing what we call the beard time.
It's beard 30.
He's just rubbing his beard into the floor.
He gets his beard all up and everything. It's got almond roca in it.
No, I think that's the biggest thing is, if you're going to store them, keep them out of the sunlight. And if you put them in a trash bag, if you want, it might help them last a little bit longer.
Yep.
And if they're on your bike, check your damn tire pressure.
Yeah. The biggest thing for tire life.
Absolutely. You
I can't believe how many guys don't.
You run it low, it's going to scalp. You're going to get scalps on those tires, and you're going to wear that thing out a lot quicker. So make sure you got the proper tire pressure in them. Check it weekly.
Yeah, for safety too.
Yeah.
And for performance, like when I'm, cornering hard, I want to know that my tires are at the proper pressure, so they're gripping right or where I want them. If you run them softer, they wear out quicker. We do that on our adventure bike sometimes. We'll run them lower, but we want the knobby tires and grab, but they wear quick. Let me tell you, when you do that kind of stuff, I think for most street riding, you just run them at the recommended pressures as far as that goes. So with that said, let's dive into different makes. And what we're about to talk about is stuff we have available in the Law Abiding Biker store that we brought first that's actually listed. Because these are some of your top touring Harley tires, right?
Yes.
And I know we're going to get some tires, Indian sizes in there. We haven't had time. So we started here. We will have other stuff added, but we can get them for you. So, on my police bike, where the most popular tire comes on your touring bikes is the OEM Harley Dunlop D407s, D408s. You all know about that tire. We run that on the police bikes. And let me tell you, that is an amazing tire. And I'm just going to throw that out there. Not that there's not other good tires, which we're going to talk about. And they perform awesome.
And that's not common for stock tires in general, especially car tires.
Yep.
It seems like you burn them up really quick.
Yep.
In my experience, my stock tires.
I agree. They're not going to spend a ton of money on tires.
No. They put something on there that's quiet and comfortable, but they tend to go away in like 30,000 miles. Like I burned up my set of tires on my Dodge truck and only got 30,000 miles out of them.
Yeah, Gary Jackson and Graham Jenkins are talking in here. I have found the Dunlop tires to cup on the sides before the tread is worn out. I switched to Michelin Commanders 3s, but only have a few hundred miles on it, 99%. Of my riding is 2-up and proper pressure. Yeah. And especially if you're doing a lot of straight. We don't get that on the police bikes, but we're fucking cornering like crazy all the time and we're evenly wearing them. But yeah, I agree. If you're just doing a lot of straight and just more touring riding, I agree with that. Gary Jackson says, Jenkins, yes, I agree. All of mine have done that. When it gets close to the replacement time, they make a whine and slight vibration when going through curves. Yeah, you'll hear that whine, especially on smoother pavement. Yeah. We've all heard that whine. That is true.
Yeah, I actually had pulled over because I thought I had a wheel bearing going out or something on a trip. My tire was getting down down to the end. I probably pushed it farther than I should have, but we put a lot of miles on that trip, and I started cornering. I was hearing the woo, that whine noise.
Oh yeah, we've all heard it. Yeah,
what the hell is that?
Yep.
I hadn't had it to that extent before where it was really noticeable.
Yeah.
And so I thought maybe I had wheel bearings going out. I'd pull over and check it. And
remember that?
Popeye came back and I go, dude, it's making this noise. He goes, your tires worn out.
Yep.
Let's go.
Yep. Let's go. Let's go.
All right.
Enjoy the hum.
Yeah.
But that is one things, but I will tell you by far, the things we do with the Harley Dunlop, and again, I'm not saying it's the best. I'm just telling you, it's a legit tire.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys just see what we're putting our police bikes through, fast track, low speed, we're qualifying, tight keyholes in rain, whether it's raining or shining, we're qualifying. They're great in wet, really do good in the rain. I mean, we can pull full police motor courses in the rain without slipping out. And they're great. They're stickier tires. They're a softer tire. They definitely wear quicker than some we're going to talk about, but that's what you're going to get with a grippier, stickier tire. And you have to balance what type of riding you're doing. And we're going to dive in a little bit more as I compare. I have tried some of these tires, and I've got another one that hopefully we'll have on before the trip so I can really give it a tire. It's a replacement for the OEM, for the Dunlop. It's like it's a
performance bagger tire.
Performance bagger tire, and it's supposed to be a direct replacement. But I'll break down, and I have tried the Michelin Commanders, and I'll talk about the pros and cons of those, and the pros and cons of everything here. But we need to do this real quick, like.
Ride longer and treat your ass with some respect already. Get hooked up with a premium butt buffer seat cushion. This company bikers developed a super thin, fucking idiot, hospital grade seat cushion made of solid and elastic materials. And it's unlike gel pads that'll leak if punctured.
Oh, my ass is leaking.
The butt buffer is designed not to slide around your seat, fits all motorcycles, installs in seconds, easily cleans up, and helps dampen those vibrations. With plenty of miles to choose from, they assure you'll have a comfortable ass when riding. Head on over to Law Abiding Bike Store and check out our full line of butt buffer seat products.
There you go, guys. All right, so Lurch, you want to talk about this, the direct replacement for, if you're not going to get the Harley Dunlop, then this would be, something you get from our store. And the reason government, obviously the police too, we have access to those, and they like to use a lot of the OEM stuff. So I would have no problem switching at this point from what I know about them. I haven't ridden them, but I'm going to ride them. And these are the ones we're going to test as a direct replacement. And I'll tell you, based on real above just touring, I'm going to take them through courses, and I'm going to test them in rain, and I'm going to do all the things so at some point I'll come back to this podcast and a YouTube, and I'll give a YouTube channel. Are they exactly the same? Are they a little bit different kind of deal? But from everything we can learn, they're almost identical.
Yeah, I guess. They're similar. Okay. They're all direct replacements technically, but
I'm not talking
about similar
performance.
Yeah, performance and all that. Yeah, yes. So it's a Metzler Cruise Tech is what you're referring to, and it's a performance bagger tire. It is sticky. It's got a lot of tread all the way out to the edges for cornering. Leaning it over. So we're looking forward to test those. We've heard a lot of good things about them. From what we hear, they're very similar to the Dunlop OEM tires.
And so on those real quick, me personally, guys, again, so let's just get this out of the way. You've got to decide mostly what type of riding you're doing.
Absolutely.
And what you want and what your pocketbook tells you within reason. And so what I'm trying to say is I don't care that my Dunlops, or in this case, my Metzler Cruise Techs, and I get 1,500 miles less than you with whatever tire you have, which we're going to talk about. Some you get more miles out of typically. The reason I don't care, it's only 1,500 miles. I personally, I want a soft tire. I want the stickiest tire. Again, it's just the way I ride. And yes, I do a lot of cruising too, but in between our East Coast ride, there's going to be some badass twisties, and I want to take it where I like to take it on that. And so I don't give two shits if a guy gets 1,500 or 1,000 more miles on your tire than me. Yay. And I'm glad for you. And again, that's fine. So when I'm talking about this, I'm not talking about it from necessarily me for the money standpoint or what you save getting an extra 1,000 miles out of your tires before you have to buy a new set. I've always just, the way I ride, I'm like, I want the stickiest, I want the softest, I want the grippiest. So that's why I gravitate towards these. That's not right for everybody, and probably most riders out there. It's fine. A lot of these other ones, because they are harder. The harder the tire, you mentioned it, the more miles you're going to get, the less grippy and sticky they're going to be. So just as we discussed this, just know that I'm not talking bad about any of these, but just note there are pros and cons to all these. The Metzeler Cruise Tech, con, wears faster. Pro, sticky, soft, going to be grabby, never going to have to worry about that tire. Something like we'll move on to, it's going to be harder, less grippy, but less sticky, but you'll get more miles. So it's kind of a give or take. Pricing wise, you didn't put prices in here, and I'm not, are these all? They're
all similar.
All price. Very similar. So we'll just get that out of the way. So yeah, move on.
Give or take a little bit. So the Cruise Tech you're going to get about the same amount of mileage you would out of those Dunlop OE tires. It is a new tire for Metzeler. It's their newest tire. And it's what they say is it's got an aggressive tread pattern set in dual compound rubber. The Cruise Tech offers supreme handling in both dry and wet conditions. Featuring an all-new carcass specification, the Cruise Tech provides excellent predictable handling and cornering stability throughout corner entry and exit. This performance tire will not only help make use of all the extra power and performance cruisers, but also improve the handling characteristics of cruisers of all shapes and pedigrees.
Okay. So,
and if you look at the tread pattern on it, you can see it's definitely got more aggressive cornering tread.
Right. Yep. So let's move on to this one, because this is a popular one. And this is from Terry McDonough. Hey, Terry, shout out. Good to hear from you, brother. Get out of there. Get out of there. Sorry, I'm clicking on something and I don't want it there. Oh, you stupid thing. Oh, there. So he says, I'm trying the Commander 3s this season. So far, I really like them. So very popular tire. A lot of people go to this from the Dunlop, the stock Harley Dunlop. So I have experience with the Commanders, and here's what I will tell you. I rode them. My findings, a great tire. And I'm not at all talking bad about it. As I did with the Cruise Tech, I'm going to tell you the pros and cons of that tire. In my experience, it is a harder tire. That's actually objective because it is true. They state that it's going to be a harder tire. It's going to be less grippy. Are you going to crash and slide? No. You're going to get more miles out of it. That's a pro. It rides really nice. If you're doing a lot of touring, it rides really nice. It's a great tire. I found it less stable in the rain. It should be. It's a harder tire. It's a little bit less grippy.
It does have if you look at that tire, it does down the middle have a almost slick, it's
yes.
The Michelin Commander 3. Yeah. So I could see it in the rain especially if you're upright, it doesn't look like it has a whole lot of tread. A lot of the tread is on the sides. On the sides,
yeah. Right.
So I can see how it could potentially be a little less grippy in the rain when you're upright.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point. Does that mean you can't ride in the rain? No. They say it's perfect in the rain. All the tires say they're perfect in every condition. So take that with a grain of salt. I'm just telling you from personal riding experience on them, especially downshifting, grippage. I downshift and slide a lot. And for whatever reason, even around corners, I had to be just a little more careful on the throttle because I felt some slippage at times on it. Again, this is riding fairly hard. Just back off, right? And that's what you do with a harder tire is you just back off a little bit in those conditions. There's no reason that you can't. But you just have to be aware of your tire. And when you ride a lot and you corner really aggressively and you transition a lot and you're getting your rear to slip, when you're going into corners, shifting down aggressive or whatever, that's when you can really feel like different tires do different things. So I like to push them to that a little bit or take them out on the course. and do really, really tight bar locks and go into transition, that's when you start really feeling the difference. So I like to get technical about it and ride them like that. And I get it. A lot of people don't, and that's okay. So that's what I go back to. 95% of riders, could go from a Dunlop or a Michelin Commander and then go to the Metzler, and they probably personally wouldn't notice a difference. They would just notice that the Metzler will wear quicker. Just because it's a softer tire. So take with what I'm saying.
You're not quite your average rider.
And that's why I want to say I don't want anybody to go, oh my God, I got a Michelin Commander and I shouldn't, no. I think most people these are all great options and tires, and you would be happy and you probably wouldn't notice a bit of difference riding down the road. So yeah. What else? Did I miss anything on that, Lurch?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Another real popular one is the American Elite.
Okay,
Oscar just ordered some American Elites for his bike. That's another one that's a high mileage tire, so it's kind of a harder tire. I would say even harder than the what were we just talking about, the Commanders?
The Commanders, yeah.
I would say it's a harder tire than the Commanders. And he's an aggressive rider, and he likes those. So here's the thing about tires. We'll give you our opinion, but opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. They all stink. So take, and Ryan, I'm glad you went through that to explain, that you may not ride the same way that other people ride. So you need to pick the tire that's best for you.
Yep.
Let's see, the American Elite. Yeah. So it's definitely got a harder section in the middle. A lot of these are dual,
I will tell,
dual zone tires, if you will. They have a harder section in the middle, and softer on the outside. The idea behind that is that when you're upright and going down the road, that it won't wear as much down the middle.
Gotcha.
But when you lean it over, you get into the sticky stuff. So they're trying to give you the best of both worlds.
Some
with
kind
a lot
of
of these
hybrid,
tires.
yeah. Mm-hmm. I will say Oscar, and he would agree with me if he was sitting here. He's a budget guy.
But he's got a CVO.
And I know. And he got a good deal on that. But he is. Because he runs, on his KLR, he runs some stuff. And I'm just like, because he wants them to last long. I just get the knobbies, dude. They're soft as shit. They're like riding on bubble gum on the rocks and stuff. I'm just like, I'll just buy some new ones. But no, he's got to get some that get an extra couple 100 miles. And sometimes you're like, I don't even know what kind of tires those are. So Oscar is definitely budget before safety. And he would agree with me.
Safety third?
No, I'm teasing to a certain extent, but Oscar's willing to do that. Anything to get, Oscar's just one of those guys, anything to get more miles on my tires, anything. All right. Sounds good, Oscar. We love Oscar. In the store now, guys, by the way, killing it in the store, shipping stuff out. All right.
Oscar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's doing well. So the American Elites, here's what they say about the American Elites. They are the only replacement motorcycle tires for Harley-Davidson bikes that are designed in America, made in America, and tested in America. They have, like I mentioned, multi-tread rear tire. It's built for long-wearing compound in the center of the tread and lateral grip compound in each shoulder to maximize cornering performance. Great tire. Nothing wrong with it. But it's a harder compound, like you said.
Right.
It's not going to be quite as sticky, but you're going to get some good mileage out of them.
Scott
Real
Bogut,
common one.
Says, speaking of American Elites, he said he's had them on his last 3 bikes. I've used Michelins in the past and have had good success. So they're used a couple different kinds. I like that. I stick with the American Elites because they are a good combination of handling and longevity. There you go. Mm-hmm. From a community member there, guys. So I appreciate the comments. And if I missed one, I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to sift through them here. Yeah. Do we read Gary's? I haven't deviated from the Dunlop American Elites. Seems like a lot of discussion in the private Facebook group about different brands with no real shining star. The biggest reason is the compound.
So there you go. Hard in the middle. So you get lots of lots of life out of it, but still corners well.
And that was the Dunlop.
That is the American Elite.
The American Elite. Yeah. I haven't ridden those, so I can't, I don't like to talk about it a lot if I haven't ridden it, but I've heard good things about it, and I'd be curious to see. And thanks for that feedback, Gary. So there you go, another community member giving you guys feedback that's experienced it. And Oscar's on a set. We'll have to get, after I test my Metzlers, Cruise Techs, we'll have to get Oscar in here too and do a follow up on how he's liking those and how I'm liking the Cruise Techs.
I have to say, as a whole, just from what I've seen people purchasing and just talking to folks, the American Elite is a really popular tire.
Yeah, it is.
Real popular replacement tire.
Yeah. And there you go. You heard it from a community member. So they're running it. And so, yeah, awesome. And let's see. Yeah, American Elites. Yep. Scott was running that. And yeah, okay, that is the Dunlop. Yep, American Elite. So yeah, a lot of conversation about the American Elites. So there you go.
We got
we'll have to get a hold of Terry. He's trying the Commander 3s this season. So you'll have to hit us up, Terry, and let us know, just a little line, or maybe we'll get you in remotely or something and see what your thoughts are on the Commander 3s from your riding experience. So yeah, there you go.
We've also brought the Metzler ME888 marathon tires into our store as well. So we've got the Cruise Techs that are the sticky, performance tire. Then we've got the ME888s, which are they call them marathon ultra tires, a ultra high mileage tire.
So they're going to be super hard, probably. Yeah. They're all about hitting I-84 and heading east and going. Yeah.
They say that, let's see, developed in Germany for roads of America. Okay. Designed for custom touring bikes.
Designed for roads in America? That's great, because we hope they work on the roads in America.
It says the ME888 Marathon Ultra tires were developed in Germany for the roads of America. Made for touring bikes, outstanding high and low speed stability. Redesigned parabolic grooves for better water drainage.
Okay.
And a deeper tread pattern for vastly increased tire life. So there's just another option if you're looking for something high mileage or laying down the miles, maybe not necessarily carving the canyons, and you want some miles on those tires. There's another option for you. Again, we also carry that in the store. And then there's some other touring tires. There's the Avon Cobras, the Shinko 777. So there are cheaper tires out there if you're budget conscious. But as Ryan alluded to earlier, if you could just maybe save you a little bit longer and get better tires, you're going to appreciate it in the long run.
Yep. So lots of tires, lots of stuff in the store for you guys, and all the the main players here, guys, that you can get other places online, or you can get them directly from us. We've got them and we appreciate it. And hopefully, I'll be testing these on the trip. If not, right after. We're hoping to get them in time. We kind of got behind the 8 ball on it, but hopefully we can get them on. We'll see. If not, I'll be testing them either way at some point. What else do you want to talk about as far as tires?
Let's talk about the dark side.
Okay, let's talk about the dark side, because somebody brought it up in there, right?
Yeah, Jake Moritz brought it up.
Yeah, brought it up about, and we had it in the show notes here, so let's talk about that, and then we're kind of going to take it out. We do, just real quick, guys, you don't have to pay a dealer to change your tires. Not everybody has a tire machine, but I don't like them working on my bike unless I have to. Any shop, I just we take our wheels off and we just take them down there so they can put them on their tire machine and actually pop them and balance them and all that. And then I put them back on my bike. You save yourself a ton of money. We've got your back on that. We've got tire removal videos, free, front, rear. We're going to put them all in the show notes, lawabidingbiker.com/whatever episode number this is. Or you can just go over and to the website and search, or the YouTube channel, tire front wheel removal, rear wheel. We've done years and years of it. Tire mounting. We actually did that one. You can do it yourself. If you get a rig, maybe not, one of the high tech ones, but more of a manual one, it can be done. This one hooked up to a hitch, if I remember. And we did change a rear tire. You can balance it yourself. We do have a wheel bearing video coming soon. 2 of them. We're just waiting for a particular reason, and it's coming. We're just waiting on a couple things to fall in alignment before we release those. Super detailed front and wheel bearing removals, and so we've got all the videos covering you to get your wheels off and get them down at least to that, or give it a shot yourself. So the dark side, which is referring to using a car tire in the rear, what you got on this, Lurch?
I'll just say, here's what Jake says. He says, has anyone in here gone to the dark side for their rear? My buddy did on his Road Glide and claims no difference in handling. I can't imagine that. Can you?
Well, and I don't have all the information, and I appreciate Jake just throwing it out there because it's a big discussion.
And you get a lot of mileage out of it, right?
I don't know what kind of riding he was doing,
right?
Is what I'm lacking.
Right.
I will just say this. I haven't done it. So I've read on it. And mostly what you'll find is, I think, here's the deal. Racers don't use those. There's a reason for that.
I don't put motorcycle tires on my truck.
Right. And can you do it? Yes. Would it work for a lot of people? Yes.
I think it depends. Yeah. On
if you're just touring, but trust me, if their car tires were better for motorcycles, you would see them out on tracks and King of the Baggers, and you don't see stunt riders using them. You don't see anybody who's pushing. Can you do it? And will you get a lot of life? Yes. I've heard of guys touring cross country on them. Yes, you can. But again, are you just kind of moseying along and you really don't care about, pushing the line too much on corners, and you're okay just riding along the river and you just get there when you get there? And, some of us seek the fun of, being able to transition the bike all the way back over, into the floorboards and such. It's going to be just the way the tire is. That's going to make it more difficult. But I appreciate the feedback, Jake. I think it's awesome. And again, without knowing or seeing what kind of riding he was doing, he probably may have not known any kind of difference at all. And it can be done, and guys do it. If you're really budget, I get it, because you're going to get an assload of miles. That's why guys tried it, is because you're going to get an assload of miles out of car tires, but they're just designed different. Mm-hmm. They're not going to be as sticky on the sidewalls. They're just not, it's not set up for a motorcycle, but it can be done, and I'm not against it. I say each rider their own. I don't think it's unsafe if you're not, going out and really, I would be really hesitant to really carve.
Yeah. You lean your bike over. There's a reason that the motorcycle tire is shaped and designed the way it is to maintain that patch, that friction patch with the road, that contact patch, what I meant to say, with the road. If you're using a car tire and leaning that thing over, you don't have the shape and the design, and you're getting onto a small amount of sidewall.
Correct.
Well, actually, there's no real sidewall, but it's
just rubber.
You're getting on the edge of the rubber there. So I could see if you were just cruising down the interstate, it might,
or even you could even ride up the just going slow. Yeah. If you're not into really transitioning and really carving and needing that stick, of course you can do it. I just think you need to be aware the capabilities are going to change of your bike.
Yeah, the bike's going to handle completely different, not just running down the road and cornering. Think about emergency braking. If you get on the brakes hard, is that thing going to grab harder than which hopefully grabs harder than the front, but is it going to grab differently? You got different compounds, different tread patterns. I don't know. I just don't, it sounds... That's why they call it the dark side. Going to the dark side, I don't know if I would do it.
I'm not willing to do it. Yeah. I think it'll be fun to try. Maybe it'll be a future video just to try it.
Just put one on, go right around.
Yeah, not get too crazy, but just see basic riding and kind of see how much different it feels. And I think that all depends on what car tire you put on it too. I mean, you could get into a whole thing about what type of car tire did you put on it, and
it's come up in the patron only Facebook group a few times, and it gets good conversation going. Here's just a couple of things that was on the last one. So William Samuel had said crazy and stupid. Sorry if I offended, but anyone that does this, you're putting yourself in passenger, and of course anyone you may hit in danger. I know several friends that do this, but it's just plain irresponsible. And sorry if I offended anybody.
Jake we were talking about, because I agree. I personally wouldn't switch, but he wanted to hear other opinions. I like to hit the corners too. So there you go.
And here's something Tim White had said, and Tim used to race and knows about tires.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
He says, I'd never do it. There's a ton of engineering and design that goes into motorcycle tires that is specific to the geometry, physics, etc. of a motorcycle.
True. Well said.
By the way, if your riding style would require that you consider this an option, you should just buy a sports car and leave the riding.
Is that what Tim said?
Yeah. And leave the riding to us. It's great. Every time it comes up in there, it spurs some good conversation.
Yeah, it is. And Tim actually said it really well there.
Yeah.
The physics of a motorcycle, the way, they go through, if you just look, and again, we're not riding out, we're not King of the Baggers. I just want to make that clear out on the road. Or even super bikes. Just look at the amount of engineering and thought that goes into those tires and the way that they can ride. There's tires are super important in the way that they're designed for a specific machine. They're always testing new stuff, and certain tires have to be used on the tracks for that reason and stuff like that. So yeah, no, it's a great conversation, and the dark side. There you go. So yes, you can do it.
Not recommended.
I don't personally, but again, each to their own. If you don't feel it's a safety risk, I believe it is to a certain extent. But you're the one riding. But yeah. And that's where it came from, is guys just trying to save money. You know what I mean? It wasn't really anything about just saving money. What's up?
Jake brought up something interesting too. He says, I wonder what insurance companies would say if they found out there was an incident or a claim.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, if you get in a crash and you've got
investigators come out and check out your bike, and
let's say you're at fault.
That tire belongs on a Prius.
Yeah.
Is that a Prius tire?
So you're not, obviously there's not going to be anything criminal there, but there is a civil liability potentially.
Oh, sure.
You could get sued. Yeah. If you run into somebody or you go down, and yeah, absolutely.
Running improper tire. Yeah. That's definitely a different take on it there.
Something to consider.
For sure. And a lot of those were great conversations going on in the private Facebook group. So with that said, there's a lot of your tires, guys. Anything else, Lurch, on that to clean up that we didn't mention? Hopefully that's a good guide. And again, I'm good with my tires for 10 years, easy.
Sure. Yeah.
But I store them indoors in a shop. They look great. Look at them. Keep them properly inflated. If the sidewalls are cracking or they're showing, then get rid of them.
Yeah.
And the one thing we didn't mention, I know a lot of we get a lot of new listeners. They listen because they want to learn. And so I know a lot of people think it's dumb saying stuff like this, but remember, the way you check your tread depth, especially on the Dunlops, and a lot of them are similar, is they have wear bars. And so in between the cutout tread, if you will, the canals, deep down in there is a wear bar. And it's just it usually goes in line with the tire or cross. I'm trying to visualize. Mm-hmm. Yeah, cross horizontally. And when that tread gets down to a certain depth, those will start showing their kind of pop-ups. They look like little speed bump, so to speak.
Yeah, you almost don't even notice them when you have a new tire.
Right.
But once you wear them down, then they start getting obvious, yeah.
Yes, and they're wear bars, and that will tell you that it's good. And if you have a tire tread gauge, it's real easy. Mm-hmm. Cars here in Washington are 230 seconds, and you should 330 seconds on a motorcycle. So when you get down to 330 seconds of an inch, then you should definitely replace your tires. Your tread is getting low. So either way you want to do that, but the wear bars are nice. You can just visually inspect those.
And if the cords start showing, it's time.
That's bad. If the cords, and I've been there.
Yeah, unfortunately I have too on long trips.
That ends up on a long trip. So try to get your tires before you go on a trip. Know that you're going to run out and get them changed before. Cause I did get back from Sturgis, the first time we went years ago, and it scared me. I didn't realize till I got home and got on the lift. I was like, I knew I won't make that mistake again. That can cost you right there. I've made dumb mistakes like that. So learn from my stupidity on that. Don't get down that far. All right. We appreciate everybody being here. And, excuse me.
Got a frog in your throat.
We want to thank some of our recent donations. And these were either flat donations and or folks purchasing in the Law Abiding Biker Store and leaving us a tip, which is amazing. I will just say amazing, guys.
We'd like to thank Daniel Kent of Surprise, Arizona, Gregory Triplett of Willowick, Ohio, Larry Conley of Richmond, Kentucky, Michael McLeod of LaPlace, Louisiana, Clark Donnelly of Wilmington, Delaware, and Moises Zavala of Brookfield, Illinois.
lawabidingbiker.com/donate. Or the homepage, there's a donate button. You can just leave a flat donation if that's the only way you want to support us. We really want you to become a patron member. Of course, we want to get to know you, want to get you in the private Facebook group, get you the benefits. But hey, we never balk at a flat donation. So thank you for all. We love the tips, guys. It's just amazing. I don't even know what to, every time I don't even know how to respond to that. It's just it's humbling. And so thank you for all of that, guys. Really, really appreciate that, guys. Don't forget, a lot of stuff, obviously, we talked up front as we take it out here, coming in the Law Abiding Biker Store. We do have Guardian bells in there. Everybody knows. And we got the original Guardian bells in there, not some knockoff. They were the original. That's why they're called the Guardian bells. and a lot of different models to choose from. You got to get those new riders or somebody who's sold a bike or doesn't have one. Get that Guardian bell on there, guys. We've got those for you. Like Lurt said, we've got gloves going on in there. We've got, just a plethora of stuff. I can't remember. We're adding it so fast. But I'm loving my Shoei Neotech 3. Amazing. That video is going to drop here in the next couple days. My review video. You'll see a lot of other online reviews. They didn't do a lot of research or spent time with the Neotech 3, and they'll say there's not that many changes. I think there's some significant changes that are well worth noting that were really glossed over, even by some of the bigger stores. I was like, that's not true exactly. You could tell they just kind of pulled it out of a box and needed to do a review on it. I actually compared it. I've been running the Neotech for years. Before that, the Neotech 1. This actually has some pretty cool shit that they changed. And so that will be dropping on the YouTube channel. Of course, that helmet is available right now in the law-abiding biker store. No, it is not the cheapest, but it is like a slipper for your head by far. If you're medium, intermediate, oval, that helmet, it's unbelievable. It's awesome. Wear it daily. So, a lot of stuff going on, guys, and the trip coming up. Real short order. We're getting excited, getting our bikes all dialed in. And I'm ready to do my first oil change, my break-in, 1,000 miles on my 24. And I got to get that done before we leave. I wanted to get enough miles on it to get that break-in service. We'll be doing that right here in the Law Abiding Biker Shop. Of course, we got AMSOIL in the store. We're bringing oil change service kits for you guys. You name it, we're going to have it for you. Don't pay a dealership. We've got our awesome tutorial videos on both the Twin Cam and the Milwaukee 8 over at lawabidingbiker.com/buy videos. Those are our awesome service videos, guys. But it's been fun. We appreciate y'all being here, and we will take it out. Yeah. And thank you, everybody, for being live. And I appreciate the chat. And remember, if you didn't catch it live, guys, it's okay. It's already in the back right now. It's already in the back end of your Patreon account, so you can rewatch it. And so if you're like, darn, I just couldn't make it, you still have access to the live video or the video broadcast. It'll be recorded, but it's in the back end of your Patreon accounts there, guys. And if you didn't catch it that way, the audio gets uploaded within several days, just the audio version in the back end of your Patreon account. So you're getting it no matter what, way before the general public. Anything else, Lurch?
Check your tire pressure.
Done. I can't say anything more than that. So with that said, guys, we are going to take it out and off live. Thanks, guys. God bless. Thanks for being here. We appreciate all your support. We are out of here. Have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend.